Hello and welcome to the IEAA Fellowship webinar. I'm Elizabeth and I look after the IEAA Fellowship program here with IEAA. I've got other roles as well, but this is my baby and it's my pleasure to share with you all about IEAA Fellowship credential, what it is, how you can be awarded, and why you should be awarded. If this is your first time hearing about IEAA, well, a very warm welcome to you. IEAA is the peak body for international education in Australia. Together with affiliated bodies, government, corporate partners, we work together to promote the benefits of international education to the broader community through three strategic pillars: advocacy, research, and professional development. Let me start today's webinar by acknowledging the Woi Wurrung and Bun Wurrung language groups of the Eastern Kulin Nation, on which this webinar is being hosted and recorded today. And of course, we'd like to extend and acknowledge the traditional custodians to the country where you are from, and we pay respects to the elders past and present. Some housekeeping rules. This session is being recorded, as you will have noticed already, and you'll receive an email by sometime this week to access the recording. We'll share it with you. Throughout the session, feel free to post any comments or questions. I know there's no chat capacity right now, but there's a Q&A box for you to post your questions. We will respond to your questions towards the end of the presentation. You will also see a couple of polls popping up on your screen during this webinar. And this is to just gauge so that I understand where you're from or where you're at with the fellowship program, as well as if there's any particular issues that I need to clarify. So the first poll you will see right now on your screen, participation are all anonymous. We won't know who you are. Please let me know at which stage of the fellowship program you're currently at. This will help me to zoom in to any, to the majority of the audience, or if it is everyone at different stages, then obviously this will help me as well to pay a bit more attention on that. All right, I'll close this poll in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so it looks like at the moment we have majority, about 1/3 of you are new. Welcome, and thank you for being here. And a third of you as well have already set a goal and working towards it. Amazing, brilliant. Well, about 10% of you are very close to achieving your goal. Well done. And the rest of you are leveling up. You're stuck. Oh, there is actually a couple of people who are stuck and the rest are unsure. Well, welcome. Regardless where you're at this fellowship stage, welcome. Today, I'm going to show you or share with you 3 things about the IEAA Fellowship program, what it is, why you should consider it, and how can you participate in this program. I just cannot believe that we are already halfway through the year, right? And you might have recalled that, the goals that you've set at the beginning of the year, or you might be freaking out right now where you're getting nowhere, but good thing is that you're here. And I would like to encourage you to just make that one step today. If you haven't done anything about your fellowship goals, or you haven't done anything about your goals this year, make fellowship goal your goal. And I'll share with you what you can do. What is IEAA Fellowship? It is a prestigious recognition for professionals in international education. And fellows are seen as leaders, innovators, and influencers with dedication and experience in international education. Why you should consider it? Don't take my word for this. We have already about almost 200 people who have gone through the program, and some of them have given their testimonials, which you can find on our website. They have said that this fellowship elevates their professional credibility and their recognition as well within the international education community. And also, you will have access to exclusive networking opportunities with industry leaders and your peers. And lastly, it enhances your career advancement as you gain visibility in the community through your participation, either as an attendee to events or even speaking or presenting engagement opportunities at various organizations such as us, IEAA, AIEC, if you've heard of that, NAFSA, API, ASANA, even government bodies, and the list goes on. And it's not just within Australia. So anything that is international, related to international education, we will also recognize them. What is the process? It is so straightforward. First, you will need to be an IEA member to access your fellowship profile. So you're asking now, what if I'm not a member of IEAA? What do I do? You actually will still gain IEAA fellowship points. It is just that you are not able to access our system because you are not an active member of IEAA. So you need to be an active member in order to navigate through the system. However, you're here. So let's go through what you can do to achieve this fellowship credential. First, set your goal. There are 3 goals for you to aim for: associate fellow, fellow, or senior fellow. Each goal has its own criteria. Number 2, log your activities. So add eligible professional development activities to your profile. If you're not sure whether an activity counts or not, just ask yourself simple questions like, is this a professional development activity? Was it organized by a peak body or a third-party organization? Some people have already submitted meetings. Unfortunately, those are not considered professional development activity. So just think these are the questions that you can think for yourself and see whether they qualify or not. Of course, if you're not sure, you can still reach out to us. And my colleague will pop maybe in the chat or later on anyway, towards the end of the screen, there will be a contact details you can reach out to. And once you qualify or once you have accumulated enough points, then you can go for the next step, which is request an assessment. Why is there an assessment? Why is an assessment needed? All the activities that you have added are something that we haven't verified. So that is the reason why we need this assessment process to verify your claims. You need to provide supporting documents, and these are all outlined clearly in the fellowship framework, which I will show you later on. And also we need to check that you haven't exceeded certain categories, because some categories do have certain limits and certain criteria. So be sure to check the list of eligible activities before requesting for an assessment. There are fees associated to each level assessment. It is a one-off fee. So for example, if you're aiming for associate fellow, at the moment it's $180 for the assessment fee. So one-off. Now, what happens after assessment that you have not met the requirement? There is a gap as a result of invalidated activities. What happens is that your request will be kept in our system, and you keep accumulating new points. Once you meet the threshold again, we will reassess without you having to pay for another fee. Yeah, so only one fee for that one level. Now, once everything is verified and you've met the threshold, I am actually just the gatekeeper. Your application will then proceed on to the Professional Development Committee, who will do another round of review and endorse your application. If everything goes smoothly, well, congratulations. You can then share your new achievement to your peers or international education community. Right. Something to be proud of. Now, do you remember how many levels that I mentioned earlier? Yeah, there are 3 of them: associate fellow, fellow, and senior fellow. And you can see on the slide here the different number of points that you need to meet in order to be eligible to request for an assessment. All right, I'm going to share with you now my screen. So feel free to follow along if you want, because it can be a bit tricky to navigate to your fellowship page. I will just share with you how you can navigate on the website. So first and foremost, go to IEAA website, which is iea.org.au. And in the top right-hand corner, just because of time constraint, I have logged in myself. But you will see, if you haven't logged in, the top right-hand corner will have a login button. So click on that and you will be able to enter your email address and your password. Once you're done with that, click on your name and you will see my account from the drop-down list menu. So click on my account and you will then see my fellowship just underneath your name and your little small profile there. Click on that and you will be able to see this small 4 menu items on the left. Now, what you're wondering, what activities will qualify me for the fellowship points? So this is one way to navigate to that. Just at the bottom here, I will just open this as a new tab for you to look at. Okay. But before that, let's move on first to how do you set the goal. So go to the second tab, which is on My Goals and Activities. It's actually, okay, well, I've already done this ahead of time, but you can see if you haven't, for the third of you who haven't had any goals at all, you will be able to see 3 goals on the bottom, at the bottom of the website. And feel free to look into, feel free to add the goals, as you can add all 3. It's okay, it's fine. But just to give you a bit of an understanding from my experience so far, assessing a lot of applications, the ballpark or the estimate is if you have been in the sector for at least 10 years and you have been active in attending professional development events outside of your organization, you can aim for associate fellow. And if you have been in the sector and been very active, doing a lot of presentations or even attending events, then you can also aim for associate fellow. But if you haven't, you've just been attending events, it might take you a little longer. So you might look at 20 years or so to go for fellow. And for senior fellow, normally people with at least 30 years or at least 25 years experience to achieve that senior fellow goal. Now, it really all depends. If you've been very active in the space, then of course the duration might be shorter. Yeah, so feel free to click all 3 goals. That is totally fine. Right. Let me just refresh through this and see. So now, because I've already click on associate fellow as my goal, I would like to also see if I actually qualify for fellow or not. So I'll myself a fellow as a goal. So now it is saying not achieved, but that's because the system will take a while to calculate and let us know. Next, I will move on to activity logbook. Remember step 2? So step 2 is to add activities. So this is where I will show you what has been added on my logbook. As you can see, IEAA events will be automatically verified as they're stated. Yeah. What if there are new ones? So let's add, for today's exercise, I thought I'll add a couple of activities. So for example, I'll just add in today's date. And I have attended AIEC. So if you're familiar with that, that is an international education conference in Australia that is that's popular and very well attended by our peers in the sector. So you can see at the bottom here, there is AIEC, and I'll click on that and I'll just put here the description as AIEC. Now I have attended it for the past 4 years. So I'll just put in the year here. All right. Now over here, this different activity will have different fields. So just be very mindful and just see what the field says. So for this one, unfortunately, there have been a few incidents where people put the number of the year. So like 2025, 2026, actually no, it's meant to be the unit, the number of years that you have attended this. So I've just put 4 there. And there you go. It is now added as unverified because it is a new activity that I've added. So I'll add again another one, and that will be, I think, most of us will have this qualification already. So I'll just put here, okay, I am just doing this just to let you know that we accept any qualifications that is AQF equivalent. So it doesn't have, because there's just a limited number of international education related qualifications. So any qualifications is accepted. And you can see as you scroll down, there is a field for you to attach or upload supporting documents. So for this particularly, we accept certificate of completion or your testament, and then also or relevant link. Now we do not accept LinkedIn as evidence of your qualification. So it has to be certificate of completion or testament. So I have added that now. I'll add another one that is also quite common. So as of today again, now this date obviously can vary, and if it is an event that you have attended recently, so you put in the date of the event. Now I'll add for this time my work experience. So it is under the experience in the workforce, professional experience category. It will give me 65 points per year. So the description here, I can just put here because I've been in the various roles within the sector. I'll just put in the number of years here, 18, just, just for example. Of course, if you have more, then you put in more. Now, if you've got a CV, you attach that as a form of supporting document, or we also accept LinkedIn here. Yeah, so of course, I will do, verification can be varied, but as long as it is credible, it is true, we will accept them. So save, close. Now, for whatever reason, if you have no supporting document handy at the point of putting this activity, you can still come back to this. As you can see, there's that edit button. So when you click on that, you will be brought back to this, to the same pop-up message, or even you can delete it. It doesn't here. It will just ask you if you want to delete or not. Yeah. So there you go. You see that it will disappear. So I've done this, and so this is what I mentioned earlier. When it comes to assessment stage, all these unverified activities will then be checked, reviewed, and if there is a lack of supporting document, you'll be asked to provide them, and they will be verified once everything is satisfactory. Right, let's go back to our fellowship goals and see what happens. So as you can see now, the system has updated itself, and I am moving across the fellow bar, and I'm very close to getting that 7,000 points. All right, so, but you can see for assessment, I am already meeting the associate fellow threshold. So if I want to proceed with assessment for this level, I can just click on this button. And yeah, it will go back again. So there's another, if you want to go straight away into the credential assessment, you can do that as well. Otherwise, click on this add card. Now this is like online shopping. Many of us are familiar now with that. So on the top right-hand corner next to your name, there is the card button. So just click on that, and you will see this checkout payment information. If you want to pay now, you can just put in your credit card details and submit order. So that is as simple as that. Now, what are the activities, Elizabeth? Okay, so let's look into the activities. There are 3 broad categories that we recognize under the fellowship framework. We do recognize education, your experience, and your engagement in the sector. So education, we recognize all types of formal qualification. As you can see here, all the different points associated with each level of qualification. And for anything that is outside of formal qualification, we accept your professional development activities. So you can see, be mindful of this limitation here. So some of them have 10 years validity, or some of them have maximum claims eligible. Okay. So other professional learning, so anything that is outside of IEA, we recognize as well. So just have a look. And be mindful that some of them have to be multi-institutional. So if it is just organized by your organization, I'm sorry, that is part of your role. So we might not be able to accept that. If it is organized by another peak body or government, for example, we will definitely accept those. So something to consider. And also for short courses, we accept that too. But of course, there is a limit up to 10 different courses only. Now, if you've done any professional credentials that is related to the sector, you can also claim up to 3 activities for this activity, for this category. Okay, for experience, I've gone through just now how you can put in your work experience, work history, and also if you have another foreign language outside of English. So apart from English, we accept any other foreign languages, and it is worth 200 points per language. So just be, if you have, please add that, as long as you can provide supporting evidence that verify your proficiency for that language. Outside of the workplace, and the list goes on. So feel free to look into this. One thing I want to point out to you is on the awards category, many have submitted internal recognition award or even sector excellence award from a recruitment agency, for example. Unfortunately, those are not recognized. It has to be a very high level organization. So for example, like the Pioneer Awards, or even awards from the state, like the study clusters, they normally do provide awards as well. Now, if it is internal recognition award, it has to be really high level, as you can see the number of points awarded for award. So it has to be at least dean's level or even the vice chancellor's kind of level award. Now, so look at this. There are many other ways to gain points. I am just looking, I think so far that's what I would like to share on my screen. Let me see, what do I, okay. So let's now look at the questions, if any. Do we have any questions, Andrew? Oh, yes, I do see 3 questions here. All right. So feel free, everyone, to put in any questions that you have at this stage. I am going to spend a bit of time now answering questions. So Keniku asks, there are limited short courses related to international education. That's right. What if the short course is useful or related to the role? Yeah, so it will be on a case-by-case basis, Kenny. It really depends. If it is accounting or if it is, I would accept like Excel, just because it really does help with your data or statistics, or any of that will help with your role. But anything that is very specific, like accounting or I can't remember at the top of my head, but it will be on a case-by-case basis. All right, hope that is answered, Kenny. Now, somebody else asking, I'm applying for fellow. Now, for my work experience, do I just upload my CV again and request for the last 2 years to be added? Yes, so if you are leveling up, so just provide or just add in the gap for the number of years. So for example, if you have attained associate fellow in 2020, and this is now 2026, so there is 5 or 6 years, 6.5 years that you haven't claimed. So you can claim that for 6.5 years and then just provide the updated CV or even LinkedIn profile. We will accept that. Right. And for the Sector Excellence Award, for example, Pioneer Awards, do finalist category count towards this, or only the award winners? Very good question here, Peter. Unfortunately, we only have award winners categories. We haven't got commended or finalists for this. So I'm so sorry about this, but that is the framework at the moment. All right, Deepa has asked a question. The previous online module will still be available, I hope, after the new ones come up. I'm still finishing one I've taken. I'm so sorry, Deepa. I think there were already numerous emails going out for the last round of online modules. The good news is we are working very hard in launching new set of modules, although they will be launched in stages. So you won't see all 10 modules or however many modules, but we will stagger it. So we are aiming to hopefully by July, you will see 3 modules for you to start working on and gain some fellowship points. All right. Is being a finalist for the Pioneer, I think I've already asked that, Adrian. So unfortunately for award, it has to be winners. Any finalists or commendation do not qualify for fellowship points. I'm currently completing the Asia Link Leaders course. Yeah, right, great. Well done, Winnie. So that will be under credential. If I'm not wrong, that'll be under credential. But yeah, double check with me again. If you can send me an email to professional learning. Anyway, and sometime this week when we send you the recording, there will also be an email for you to contact if you would like to have more clarification to any of the questions that we can answer today. All right. Now, what is considered international education as an academic? If you have taught classes consistently, yeah, that includes international students. Is that valid? Yes, Luke, that is very valid question. So for those who are pursuing the academic field, obviously it's very difficult to define, but as long as you have engagement with international students, that qualify, and that will help. That will let you to what do you call it, claim for your work experience with the international students in the sector. All right. Any certificates received during work experience from reputed universities like the Best Counselor Award? Does that? No, unfortunately not. Our Amrit Paul. Yeah. So yeah, Best Counselor Award. It really you have to think whether is this something that is recognized high level. That's one. Second is it usually as well, if you notice with the dean's level or vice chancellor's level awards, there is expression of interest, and then there will also be it's a rigorous process that you have to go through, just like the sector award as well. There's rigorous nomination process that everyone has to go through, and that's the reason why there is a high level of points associated with those categories. So unfortunately, with any awards that do not go through that will not qualify for points. All right. Last question here for the authorship of publication. What is the limit, please? Okay, anything publication-wise, you can see it is 5. You can have let me just bring up again here. So contributing knowledge, so it will be under Jackie or somebody else as well if you are into the academic line or if you're a writer. So under engagement, you go to contributing knowledge, you will see the different criteria, different activities with the different criteria. Normally, you see it depends. If it is a book publication, you can claim up to 3 different books, but obviously the points is a lot per book. If it is writing a chapter or a review or article, journal article, so it is up to 5. Yeah, so just be mindful and just check. They are very clear, I think, in the framework. All right. Somebody is asking here. So somebody has gone through some breaks during the work experience. So yeah, so unfortunate, Danielle, that we have this 10-year mark just because of the nature, the evolving nature of the industry. And so the reason why we have this framework is just so that everyone is on an equal level and so equity as well, that everyone then can see that this credential is updated. Everyone who has gone through this process upkeeping themselves with whatever that is happening in the sector. And that is the reason why we have this 10-year criteria. Hope that helped. I think that's all the questions that I have for today. Amazing. Thank you, everybody, for staying put. And I am mindful we just have 1 more minute. So I just sort of highlighting to you, if you haven't gone through any professional development activities, and on the slide here are all the activities that we are organizing for the rest of the year. Please use the QR code if you want to know more, or you can navigate to our website anyway. And also AIEC, it's happening on the 27th to 30th of October. So registration is already open. So please don't forget to register if you are going. And something to let you know, if you are young professionals or you're emerging professionals in the sector, there is this Excellence Awards to look forward to. More information will be shared in June, July, I think, with announcement to be made at AIEC. Super exciting for those who are winning this, being recognized now. Something also for those of you who are in the academic line or researchers, get in touch with our research manager if you want to be involved in anything with us. Well, thank you so much for your participation. You have just earned yourself 20 fellowship points just by attending this webinar. I'm Elizabeth, and it's been a pleasure. So let me know if you have got any questions or anything. My email address is professional-learning@iea.org.au. I'm sorry I didn't put it on the slide. I'll do that next time, but I will communicate that with you anyway on the email sometime this week. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.